The Sun is the real answer to determining Earth's true geometric surface shape. Understanding how to use the Sun along with military science and geometry to determine Earth's true surface shape. It's as simple as looking in the daytime sky based on where you live in the world and seeing the Sun high in the sky. There is a point at which the high Sun proves you live on a flat surface. It's as easy as seeing the Sun in either the first story or second story window. The Sun's position tells the real answer. If the Sun is seen in the first story window during late spring, summer, and early fall sun seasons, the Earth's surface could either be flat or curved. As a rule of thumb, general times will be 9 to 10 a.m. mornings, and afternoon times 3 to 4 p.m. In this example, the Sun is in the first story window, distinguishing Earth's true surface as flat. In this example of the two-story house, the Sun is in the second story window. This distinguishes Earth's true surface shape as being flat. This is because in the designated sun seasons and times the high Sun position can only be viewed from a flat surface. Finding out the why is the next step. Understanding the why the high Sun is the real answer. Understanding Sun location in our daytime sky or the high Sun is primary evidence of flat Earth. And it is why the Sun, once we understand its position in the sky, only works in one model, the geocentric flat Earth model. At 46 degrees or more, the Earth's true surface shape distinguishes itself as flat at observation times of 9 to 10 a.m. and 1500 hours, 3 p.m., 1600 hours, 4 p.m., daily. Like a window in the sky, as shown in the diagram above, the Sun position in the sky verifies the difference between a flat or curved surface. This is because the object of reference, the Sun, when sighted center mass, has now exceeded the line of parallel, and you are no longer sighting on the Sun center mass. Proper Earth to Sun alignment is exceeded for the globe model. At 45 degrees and below, the Earth's surface is indistinguishable between flat and curved. The most difficult times for the globe model are the summer season, inside the prime meridian zone, and low altitude. This is because the globe model only has 45-degree upper surface measurement to work with, because the observer is at a 45-degree surface angle to the Sun, which reaches line of parallel for the globe model at 90 degrees. Creating the grid in the sky using the Marks device and digital protractor. Using solo timed observation, STO, as in this example, or simultaneous observation, SIMO, the Marks device, and a digital protractor, we can create a grid pattern to check the Sun's position with regards to both the globe and flat Earth models. This grid is then used to verify whether the observation station, observer, is viewing the Sun from a flat or curved surface. This essentially creates accountability within the system.
It's almost never studied even in the final. What is quantum? Within a second. But the meaning is very obfuscated because the word quantum replaced the word ether. And only relatively recently it was popularized in a computer world, giving a different meaning. So, what is this ether? In general terms, it's almost never studied medium that defines all there is in the known universe. It's the fabric beyond the space and time we experience. It's the foundation for all there is. Ether became a controversial because it defies heliocentric model. The existence of ether was attacked and slowly withdrawn from the academia. This happened because if there is a phenomena of a god-like proportions, then it can't support the new and modern way of thinking and believing, where there is no need for God, and where we are just a cosmic accident. This could be all fine if we ignore it, but if we decide to study it or understand it, then how do we go about it and why? We know that solids, liquids, and gases are mediums. They can propagate or isolate things like radio waves, light or heat. Then these things can travel easier through different mediums at different speeds. Alright, what does this have to do with anything, and especially with the flat Earth? Light can travel through glass, air, water, vacuum. Heat can travel through metal, air, water, vacuum. Radio can travel through metal, air, water, vacuum. Electricity, metal, air, water, vacuum. Magnetism, metal, air, water, vacuum. And so on, and so forth. Then we observe the change in the movement when the physical media are present, but when physical media are removed, then certain things can travel freely without secondary influence. This can only happen if there is an ultimate medium which is always present and perfect in all its essence. The ether.
But the story doesn't end here. This above is only a brief description of what we are led to believe, what we are allowed to learn, or what's available in scientific papers and through basic experimentation. Then, where does the ether fits to all of this? As mentioned above, the ether is the foundation of them all. It's everywhere and within all there is. In this realm it flows through all matter, through all media.
Yeah, and it flows in the absence of media.
All humans on Earth can only ever see one face of the moon, and it appears with the face rotated with the degree, depending on location. The moon covers the full 360 degrees of rotation. Mainstream science simplifies this fact and states the moon is right side up north of the equator and upside down south of the equator. This isn't true. It appears rotated to different observers in different locations. If the Earth and Moon were both balls, then humans at the far north would see a different face of the moon than those in the far south, with some overlap. The only way we can all see the same face is upon a flat Earth. One can clearly see the moon moving away from the observer, to the vanishing point of a human eye. Eyes are spherical objects that focus light on the lens at the back. The horizon has nothing to do with the shape of the world and everything to do with distance. People are fooled into thinking the horizon is the edge of the curve. Phases. We are told the moon's phases, the 29.53-day rhythm of different degrees of illumination, are from sunlight via the sun's angle to the moon, but this cannot be the case. Below is the mainstream model. But when it is new moon and day in the ball model, we should see a black silhouette. We don't though, we see nothing. We should see a silhouette in the ball model, because the sun is so much bigger than the moon and behind it. Also we can see a nearly full moon in the day. This is not possible on the ball Earth, as during the day, the Earth is facing the sun, red below. The Earth would be in the way of someone trying to see the moon in the daytime. Also, we can sometimes see the sun and moon in the sky at the same time, for some hours in the days just before and just after the full moon. There is nothing between the sun and moon, so the moon should be 100% lit in the ball model. There is nothing obstructing the massive sun's rays, but the moon appears only 4/5 or so illuminated. If the moon was orbiting the Earth, and both were orbiting the sun, then 6 months later the moon's phases should have swapped over, and each lunar month, the phases should appear different. We are told that the sun gives the moon its light for the phases, but if this were the case, during each lunar month, the moon would be at a different angle to the sun. It would be impossible for the phases to remain the same each lunar month, but they do. Study the two images below to get a full understanding of this. These two images both present the same mainstream paradox. A. The moon does what it does with its phases each month. B. The moon goes around the sun with the Earth. One of these has to be wrong, but we are told that both are true. You can see from the two images above that the moon should have a different light reflection from the sun at different locations around the sun, but at the same time and location of its own lunar month. It should actually act like this below, but it doesn't, helping to prove the ball Earth model is a hoax. This might need some contemplation, a pen and paper, or possibly a reread. But it is indisputable. Reflection. The moon cannot be above a ball, or the reflection on the ocean wouldn't reach to the person on the shore, but it does reach an observer on the shore. If the moon were above a ball, the reflection on the ocean would behave much differently. See below where we have pieced in the phantom curvature. Tides. We are told that the gravitational pull of the moon alone creates the tides, but this is also wrong. If the moon was 2,160 miles in diameter and the Earth 8,000 miles in diameter, the Earth would be 87 times larger, and would attract the smaller mass, the moon, to it, not the other way. We are told the Earth's stronger gravity keeps the moon in orbit, so how can the moon's weaker gravity override Earth's gravity at Earth's lowest points, sea level and below sea level? If the magical error-ridden force called gravity existed, all trees would look like willow trees, and all flowers would wilt in an N shape. But that is for another time. The Earth's tides vary greatly. For example, near the Isle of Wight, there are 4 tides a day. Some beaches have tides which go out far, while others not so much. The mainstream map of tides is not uniform, and would not be caused by a single body moving harmoniously across from east to west. If the moon lifted up the water, it is evident that near the land, the water would be drawn away and low instead of high tide caused. Again, the velocity and path of the moon are uniform, and it follows that if she exerted any influence on the Earth, that influence could only be a uniform influence. But the tides are not uniform. At Port Natal, the rise and fall is about 6 feet, while at Barra, about 600 miles up. The coast, the rise and fall is 26 feet. This effectually settles the matter that the moon has no influence on the tides. Tides are caused by the gentle and gradual rise and fall of the Earth on the bosom of the mighty deep. In inland lakes, there are no tides, which also proves that the moon cannot attract either the Earth or water to cause tides. But the fact that the basin of the lake is on the Earth, which rests on the waters of the deep, shows that no tides are possible, as the waters of the lakes, together with the Earth rise and fall, and thus the tides at the coast are caused, while there are no tides on waters unconnected with the sea. Thomas Winship, Zetetic Cosmogony, 130 to 131. It is affirmed that the intensity of attraction increases with proximity, and vice versa. How, then, when the waters are drawn up by the moon from their bed, and away from the Earth's attraction, which at that greater distance from the center is considerably diminished, while that of the moon is proportionately increased, is it possible that all the waters acted on should be prevented leaving the Earth and flying away to the moon? If the moon has power of attraction sufficient to lift the waters of the Earth at all, even a single inch from their deepest receptacles, where the Earth's attraction is much the greater, there is nothing in the theory of attraction of gravitation to prevent her taking to herself all the waters which come within her influence. Let the smaller body once overcome the power of the larger, and the power of the smaller becomes greater than when it first operated, because the matter acted on is nearer to it. Proximity is greater, and therefore power is greater. How then can the waters of the ocean immediately underneath the moon flow towards the shores, and so cause a flood tide? Water flows, it is said, through the law of gravity, or attraction of the Earth's center. Is it possible then, for the moon, having once overcome the power of the Earth, to let go her hold upon the waters? Through the influence of a power which she has conquered, and which therefore is less than her own? The above and up